Art Gottfried, and this is Gilbert and Frank's Amazing Colossal Obsessions. I'm here with my co-host, Frank Santopadre.
I haven't seen you in a while. How have you been?
Well, I've been searching for Papillon Susu.
I may have a reference for you.
Yeah.
I may have a Papillon Susu.
You have a link to Papillon Susu?
I have a piece of information.
Yeah, for you people out there, she was the girl, the Vietnamese girl in Full Metal Jacket who goes, "Me so horny, me rub you wrong time."
Yes, and Ken, you told me several weeks ago that you thought she would make a good guest.
Yes.
So we put the word out.
Okay.
And no one, the closest someone has come to identifying her whereabouts is someone wrote me to say she was living in London.
Yeah.
She had a website up until about 5 years ago, which does us no good. I'm going to call the Screen Actors Guild and see if we can get any kind of satisfaction there. But I'm not sure she's in the business anymore.
Yeah, somehow I don't think if she hasn't worked in the past 30 years.
And once she hears this, she's definitely not coming back.
So I know Papillon Susu listens to my podcast.
Really?
So, yes, that's how she learned English.
Oh. Well, we'll keep trying. Okay. If anybody knows where to find Papillon Susu from Full Metal Jacket, please get in touch with us through Facebook or Twitter.
Because me so horny.
You want to start us off this week,
Okay.
Mr. PC?
All right. I think this is one I haven't recommended before. I hope not.
Okay.
Because after this...
We'll stop tape and start again.
Or I'll just start recommending Ernest Goes to Camp. And that means I've given up. Okay. I know I've recommended a movie by Jack Nicholson and another movie with Randy Quaid.
Oh, I know where you're headed with this.
And another movie that had Michael Moriarty. The Jack Nicholson one was King of Marvin Gardens.
Correct.
The Randy Quaid one was The Apprenticeship of Duddy Kravitz.
Correct.
And the Michael Moriarty one...
Bang the Drum Slowly.
Bang the Drum Slowly. Okay. This is another movie from the 70s.
Can I guess?
Okay.
Is it The Last Detail?
Yes.
Ah.
Yes.
I love that picture.
The Last Detail. This is where Jack Nicholson and another... He's a Marine.
Right.
And he and another Marine have to take... Randy Quaid. Randy Quaid is like, like he's got mental problems. Mm-hmm. He's backwards. I'm talking about Randy Quaid, not the character in the movie.
Yeah.
That character in the movie's a Rhodes Scholar.
Before he was making sex tapes and putting political masks on his wife. I get it.
But yeah, he plays this like really backwards character with mental problems who just like tries to steal some money from like some jar of coins or whatever. And it was the captain's wife's favorite charity, so they decide to throw the book at him. And Nicholson and this other Marine have to go cross country.
They have to escort him, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just the trip all the way across country on trains and buses. And it's all very, very depressing and very down. And along the way, the things that happens, how they start getting close to him, actually. And he starts opening up. And it's one of those great 70s...
It's a character study.
Yeah. Yes. And it's a character study and road picture in one. And it's got that just depressing feel about it.
Yeah.
That's
written by Robert Towne, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Now, was this Hal Ashby?
Hal Ashby.
Yeah.
Hal Ashby, who we've talked about on the show. I talked about being there.
Yeah.
And how he died young and tragically.
Yes.
After making some great films like Shampoo and Bound for Glory. and being there in The Last Detail. And
Oh, and one thing I
Harold and
remember about The Last Detail is Nicholson curses a lot in
Yeah.
the picture, and they purposely staged some of it that he would be turning his head when he cursed, so when it would be on TV, or if they wanted to change it for the movies,
interesting.
they could dub in,
right, you couldn't see
like fudge you or something.
It's like trying to watch Goodfellas on regular
God.
television.
Hey, freak you, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good picture.
Yeah.
Written by Robert Towne, directed by Ashby. And Quaid is fun. I mean, we talked about Quaid. I've mentioned Paper Moon on the show, too. And we've talked about when Quaid had a career.
Oh, yeah.
When he wasn't in this kind of paranoid, squatting in people's houses.
And a respectable career.
Yeah. And you didn't work with him in your travels?
I worked with him in one of the last of the horrible Rodney Dangerfield films.
Was that Wally Sparks?
I don't know if he was in Wally Sparks. He could have been in that too. But he was in Back by Midnight.
Oh, is that the one with the monkey?
No, that's Funky Monkey.
I apologize.
Please, you should have some respect for my career. Don't confuse Back by Midnight with Funky Monkey.
What was the plot of Back by Midnight?
Back by Midnight, I never saw Back by Midnight. I don't think it ever made it to any theaters.
I hope the check cleared.
And I think the only country it may have played in was the one that Papillon Susu.
Oh, it played in Laos.
She was the only person. Papillon Susu is the only person.
It played in Kuala Lumpur.
And so Randy Quaid was in that.
Yeah.
And I think I was supposed to be like the security at a department store, and Rodney Dangerfield was an escaped convict, and I never saw the.
Wow.
I don't think I've seen 2 seconds.
I never even heard of it until you brought it up on a previous show, and I thought I knew Rodney's career pretty well.
Yeah, I never even saw a trailer for it.
And what is the other thing that you and Randy Quaid have in common?
That both of us went totally crazy and went to Canada to hide out.
That you're both squatters. It's actually that you're both former SNL cast members.
That's right.
Yeah, he was in the first year that Michaels came back in '85.
That weird year that had Robert Downey.
Yeah, Robert Townsend would have been a better choice.
Robert Downey Jr.
Right. Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, Anthony Michael Hall. Cusack.
Joan Cusack.
Yeah. Billy.
Billy Saluga.
Billy Saluga. Well, you can call me Ray, and you can call me Jay, but live from New York.
Would have killed to see Billy Saluga on SNL. No, Terry Sweeney.
Terry Sweeney, yeah.
Right.
And oh God, the host of the Academy Awards.
Billy Crystal?
Billy Crystal.
No, he was in the previous. He was in Ebersol.
He was in the Ebersol.
He was in the Ebersol with Harry Shearer.
But didn't he stay over for the next?
No. When Michaels came back in '85, he brought back this weird. It was Nora Dunn.
Yeah.
And Joan Cusack. I think Nora Dunn was that early. I could be wrong. It was Terry Sweeney, who did Nancy Reagan.
Oh yeah.
That was his big thing. Anthony Michael Hall, Robert Downey, Randy Quaid. We mentioned. Who am I leaving out of this? Damon Wayans.
Oh, yes. Who got fired because he was playing a cop in one scene and he was angry about something. So he played the cop as flamingly gay. And after that, he got fired.
I think Lovitz and Nora Dunn were the two that carried over when they realized that the actor experiment wasn't going to work.
And it's what was so funny. I remember in the cast I was in, it was so idiotic that the critics were saying, why did they hire them? We don't know who they are. Totally forgetting.
That's right. Nobody knew Gilda and right.
Yeah, who the hell knew John Belushi?
Right.
or Billy Crystal, or John Belushi,
Aykroyd,
or Bill Murray,
Right.
Gilda Radner. No one knew who the hell these people were. And now this was an experiment to get people who were known, and
Right.
it just was weird.
Didn't work.
Yeah.
Didn't work. They were only there for 1 year. The Last Detail. Good movie, and there's a connection to my movie. And, we don't tell each other what the films are, but Robert Towne, who wrote The Last Detail, also was one of the writers on mine, which is a movie I think you know. We were talking about political paranoia thrillers. Last week I talked about The Day of the Jackal.
Yeah.
You also recommended The Conversation.
Oh, yes.
And we've talked about that, how it's a whole
Gene
subgenre.
Hackman, yeah.
Yeah, those 70s movies. This one is Warren Beatty, 1974. I'm going to see if you know it. William Daniels is in it. Not John Hillerman.
Yeah, Captain Nice.
Captain Nice.
Yeah.
It's called The Parallax View.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know it.
Yeah.
1974.
And for those William Daniels fans out there, look, it's the man who flies around like an eagle. Look, it's the man who hates all that's illegal. Who is this man with arms built just like hammers? That's just some nut who flies around in pajamas. That's no nut, son. That's Captain Nice.
Created by Buck Henry.
Yes.
Good stuff. Good stuff. The Parallax View, Beatty plays a reporter investigating the assassination of a presidential candidate. And it's not so loosely based on the actual Robert F. Kennedy assassination.
Oh, yeah.
And that there's supposedly a second gunman. And I don't know how much you remember about the movie. Beatty's terrific. How do I explain it? I mean, this is one of those movies I don't want to say a terrible amount about because it's all about surprises and twists and turns, this movie. He's a reporter who winds up faking his own death to apply to this thing called this shadow organization called the Parallax Corporation, which is a firm that recruits political assassinations. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah.
And he gets in a little bit too deep, and I don't want to say a hell of a lot about it. Because there's nothing I can say about this that won't give away the whole plot. But I was doing a little research on it today and reading about the Robert F. Kennedy assassination, and there are definite parallels.
Oh, yeah.
And it was written by the great Lorenzo Semple Jr., who wrote the Batman pilot, the original Batman pilot in 1966.
And we've had just about everybody from Batman.
That's
on.
right.
Yeah.
He also wrote a movie called Pretty Poison, which is a movie. I don't know if you
Tuesday Wells
and Tony Perkins.
Yes,
and he wrote The Drowning Pool for Paul Newman.
That's where he was. Was he that detective
Harper.
again? Yeah,
Harper. Yeah. He wrote 3 Days of the Condor, which is another paranoia kind of a thriller.
Another great 70s.
Sidney Pollack, and you'll love this. He also wrote Papillon.
Not to be confused with Papillon Susu,
correct,
who will be on my show any day now.
Any day.
Yes.
So Robert Towne was one of the writers on this. It was directed by the late Alan Pakula, and it was part of what they called his paranoia trilogy, All the President's Men, The Parallax View, and Clute.
Yes.
And this is the only one that didn't make any money, maybe because it was just a little too dark. But it's too bad because it's a very rewarding film. And Beatty himself was part of the RFK campaign and was supposedly so shocked by the killing that he was inspired to make this film with Pakula.
And it's funny, Manchurian Candidate,
right,
another one of those paranoia films with Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, Lawrence Harvey.
That they delayed release of. Because Kennedy.
Oh, because of the Kennedy assassination. Yeah, and John Frankenheimer, who directed that, was also a friend of the Kennedy family.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very strange film. It's a very dark film. A must-see. I really went down the rabbit hole researching it today, and the whole Sirhan thing, and then the pantry, and you know about the supposedly some people believe that Sirhan did not commit the assassination at all.
Forget it. That'll always be.
Yeah, that he was. There's a theory that he was shot from the rear by a security guard named Thane Caesar, but that's a whole other podcast.
No, he was shot by Sid Caesar.
Sid Caesar.
Yes.
And the second gunman was Howard Morris.
Yes.
God. We just jumped the shark on that one. The year is 1974. It's a terrific film, and of that genre that we talk about a lot, political thrillers of the 70s.
And without giving away too much of the Parallax view, Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway get shot.
Really?
At the end, yes.
In slow motion, as Denver Pyle looks on.
Yes.
Do you remember Denver Pyle?
Yes.
And Bonnie and Clyde?
Didn't Denver Pyle also appear a lot on the Andy
He
Griffith
did.
Show?
He was Old Man Darling.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Good Lord. We can free associate. The look on Dara's face. I love Denver Pyle, but that's a whole other show. We'll do a Denver Pyle obsession show. So Parallax View is my movie.
And my movie is The Last Detail with Jack Nicholson.
And Randy Quaid, who I'd love to have on the podcast.
Oh, my God.
Should we try?
Yeah. He's going to... I think if I said I'm going to get Randy Quaid, Gary Busey would say, "Oh, I don't know."
Oh, stay away from that.
He scares me.
Would you prefer if I offered you Randy Quaid or Papillon Susu? Who would you pick for the show?
Oh, God. Well, Papillon Susu.
Of course.
Yes,
of course. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But,
She's number one on the list.
yeah, but maybe the police can bring in Randy Quaid. I liked when Randy Quaid went to Canada to hide out. And the first thing he did in Canada was call a press conference.
Say he was hiding.
To announce I'm hiding in Canada.
Okay.
And I thought somehow he doesn't quite have his finger on this.
Oh, God. So Randy Quaid and Papillon Susu, hopefully
Yes.
two future guests. See you next time.